How have these dogs affected your life?
Well, our dogs have brought us a lot of joy and a lot of pain. Do I look at you or do I look at the camera?
This is Shadow. The Australian Shepherd coming over to get some attention as well is Sydney. These are my two dogs, and I love them very much. No matter what trouble they may cause, the joy and love far outweighs the bad. And due to this shelter-in-place requirement we've been spending a lot more time than usual with them. But what exactly makes Shadow Shadow and Sydney Sydney?
Shadow, the older one that we've had for a while, has been great. He's easy. He's a rescue dog, and you can tell. I mean, he's a great dog. He's mild-mannered, well-behaved, easy. The puppy, Sydney, the Aussie, who's 5 months old now, she's been a handful. Number one, because she's a puppy. Number two, because she's an Australian Shepherd, and they have a lot of energy, drive, and they're very, very smart. So she has created some havoc for us here at the house, but she's getting better. She's getting older, more mature. So all in all, we love our dogs, and they're a part of our life.
These dogs have brought us a lot of joy and a lot of cleanup and a lot of fun and a lot of affection. And they are these are our fifth and sixth dogs in our lifetime together, so we're dog people.
When Brad brought Shadow home, it just brought a whole new member into our family that we really weren't expecting. And he's just so chill and easy to deal with that it gave me a new perspective on how pets could be. And then with the new one, oh, she's crazy. But I'm glad that she has Shadow there to learn from.
With these two dogs, I never really got to see them that much because I would always be at school and then after school go to marching band. But now that this is in place and I get to spend more time with them, I realize how much my father has to deal with them all the time. But I mean, jokes aside, they are truly great dogs, and I love that Sydney, even though she keeps on growing, she will always be a lap dog, or she'll probably think that way, and Shadow will just not care what she does, and he just wants you to pet him, basically. What's your overall opinion of them?
Overall, they're great. They bring a lot of joy. They're very affectionate. They're good companions. They're good entertainment. The puppy stage is very hard. They are hard to train sometimes, and you got to be patient and you got to be consistent, but it's worth it in the end.
I mean, they're great dogs. You know, Shadow, the older one that we've rescued now for 6 years, I think, is just been wonderful. And the fact that he came from such a tough environment and he's adapted into ours has been great. Sydney is you can tell she's a very smart dog. She's very driven. Her breed is all about, herding and working, and so she's got a lot of drive, high energy, very smart, cute, and she better be because of all the stuff she does. But all in all, we love our dogs. I mean, they're a part of our family, and they're just we include them in most everything we do.
Well, I like Shadow, and I also like Sydney a little bit. I like Shadow a lot just because of how chill he is and how he doesn't really need any of us for anything. Sydney is still very needy, but she's going to be an awesome dog too.
Can you tell the story of how we got Shadow?
Wow, that's a great story. Shadow was, I guess it goes back to 2014. You, myself, Logan, your brother, and your mother and I attended a family wedding in Tennessee, and I'm not sure exactly where. I think it was Shelbyville, Tennessee. Anyway, and as we were staying in a hotel, we came across this dog, in the parking lot. And he was a puppy at that time, was skittish, but liked us, and he would run around the parking lot. And of course, my wife, always carrying snacks, made sure that he got his fair share of Cheez-Its and other items while we were there. And we were there over the course of, I think, one night, and the dog stayed outside, and then the next morning we woke up and the dog was still there and greeted us. It was just a really sweet dog. And then as the wedding concluded and we went back to the hotel to come home, we were pulling out, and Shadow was still in the parking lot of the hotel, and both you and your mother were upset, quite frankly, that we were leaving this dog in the parking lot. So, but we were all kind of upset about leaving the dog. We were worried about the fate of the dog. It was, at a hotel, busy street. You think the worst things, but we didn't really have a vehicle at that time that we could have transported the dog home, even if we, wanted to. So we left. It bothered me personally. So a couple days later, as we had returned to Atlanta, I called the hotel and asked the owner of the hotel if the black dog was still running around the parking lot, and he said yes. Said that, it was a sweet dog, but, some people are afraid of dogs, and, it was becoming a nuisance, really, for him and his business. And I said, do you think we could take the dog, come get it and take the dog? And he said, that'd be great. I'd love for the dog to have a home. So, fast forward a week later, I had a business trip that required me to drive up to Tennessee and over even into Virginia and that area. And I didn't tell the family, but I drove back through Tennessee on my way home and stopped at that hotel. And it was pouring down rain, of course. And I never in my wildest dream thought that I would have the opportunity to see that dog again. But as I was sitting in the parking lot and looked outside my window, there he was. He was sitting in the pouring down rain, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And so I actually opened up the door, picked up the dog, put him in the truck, and drove home from Tennessee with Shadow, and surprised the family the next morning with our new dog. So that's the story, and it's pretty cool, and I think he's done pretty well. He's got a good family that he's a member of now.
What was your initial reaction to when Brad brought Shadow home?
Well, I thought Brad was crazy for basically hijacking a dog out of a parking lot, but in the end, it turned out to be one of the best decisions he's made for our family.
It was shock, and I was happy because I was really worried about him being a rescue and being a stray. I was really excited when he brought him home to live with us.
And sort of another funny little story is for, I think it was like either Christmas or my dad's birthday, my grandmother, his mother, got him a dog DNA kit, and this was before Sydney, so we just wanted to see what Shadow's sort of DNA was, because he is a rescue and we didn't know. We knew he had lab in him, but we also knew he was a mix and we wanted to figure out. Well, the crazy part is when we got the lab results back, it said that he was a mix of a lab and a dachshund, so sort of a lapsand mix, I guess is what we called him. And what's funny is that in the description, it says that dachshunds are usually very mute, and like they don't bark that much. And Shadow doesn't bark. I mean, there was no way that they could have known that beforehand. Like, it was funny to see that when we got the test results back and it said that he was a mix of a lab and a dachshund, that it added up because he didn't bark. He was actually very mute. Until just recently. But it was really cool to see that and like, wow, it actually works. In conclusion, both of my dogs are the best. Shadow for his laid-back, yet always on alert personality, and Sydney for her puppy stage, yet still loves us and cares for us personality. They really bring out the best in me and my family.